Madison's new mayor is starting out her tenure with a deal with the county to fund some east side roads in need of fixing.
And there's a warning out for women this morning who've undergone procedures with surgical mesh, why the FDA is now banning those products.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, April 17th. Danica is continuing her vacation, so you guys are still stuck with me. Leah's been making fun of me all morning because I'm excited to see a thunder boomer.
A thunder, I've
Have
never
you heard that before?
Are you serious? You haven't heard that
boomer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Oh, no,
this
I've
phrase
heard it.
didn't make it to Highland.
Like, I started thinking, like,
It actually made it to northern Wisconsin.
yeah. My dad used to always say that. I'm like, am I just crazy? But I'm glad I'm not alone with
Maybe
that.
it's a northern Wisconsin, Minnesota
Maybe
thing.
it
Yeah,
is.
I'm not north enough.
You need
Yeah,
to
Southwest
just get
Wisconsin.
with it here.
That's
Shoot.
true. Well, we do have a
Thunder
chance for
boomer.
thunder boomers, thunderstorms, whatever you want to call them. It's an alert day for southern Wisconsin, so just be aware of that. Here's a look at all the details. Isolated strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible this afternoon. Main time frame that we're looking at is likely between 4 and 8. That's not to say that you won't see any rain outside of those hours, but that's the best chance for severe weather within those hours. Large hail is the main threat. They may produce heavy rain. Also cannot rule out an isolated tornado. Now, it's a pretty quiet start. I've actually pushed back the start time on this rain activity this morning by a couple of hours. You can see just a little bit of light activity developing in northeastern Iowa this morning. These showers and isolated thunderstorms will lift northward through the area. Temperatures are starting right around 50. We'll climb to highs in the low 60s this afternoon. Let's get a look at those traffic maps this morning. The roads are not wet, which is great news, so we're not seeing any major issues. The usual crowd is starting to show up on Stoughton Road right around the belt line, so we are seeing a couple of delays there, but nothing major just yet. If you're traveling in from the surrounding communities, we're looking at posted speeds on all those major roads.
All right, let's bring on those thunder boomers today.
Oh my gosh. You
Just
guys.
not
boom,
the severe
clap.
weather. We don't want the
No
hail.
severe weather. I just want a
hail.
little thunder.
We do like them. Not the
do.
name, per se. I'm not sold on the name yet, but I do like a good thunderstorm, as long as it's not severe.
That's
All
true.
right. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
6:02 your time now. Madison's new mayor is not wasting any time on her first day in office. Right after her swearing in, Zantia Rhodes Conway and Dane County Executive Joe Parisi held a joint press conference announcing they've reached a deal on updating Cottage Grove and Buckeye roads. Previously, those roads had gone unfixed as the city and the county couldn't agree over who was responsible for footing the bill. Parisi says he's excited for this new era of collaboration with Madison.
This is a solid, concrete, literally and figuratively, example of what you can achieve when you work together for the common good.
The city and county will share the cost of both of those projects. We have a breakdown up on our website right now, channel3000.com.
It is now 6:03 this morning. A Madison East High student says two boys used her backpack to lure her into a bathroom where she was allegedly sexually assaulted last week. A search warrant filed Monday says the victim told police two boys forced her into unwanted sexual acts in a bathroom at the school. It happened after school Wednesday around 4. Two 15-year-old boys have now been arrested for the alleged assault, one of whom has been charged with second-degree sexual assault. That boy is accused of tricking her to following him into the bathroom, but he says he only went in to clean up after the second boy. A search warrant was filed to obtain DNA from that boy. Surveillance video confirms both boys were in the bathroom during the time of that alleged assault. Lawmakers are hopeful a new proposal will establish clear protocol and clear up years of confusion over untested sexual assault kits in Wisconsin. Attorney General Josh Kaul and a group of bipartisan lawmakers held a news conference Tuesday announcing that bill, establishing timelines that health professionals and police officers would use to send the rape kits in for testing. Crime labs would be required to store the evidence kits for up to 10 years or until the victim decides to report the assault to police. Tens of thousands of rape evidence kits have gone untested nationwide. That bill has support from law enforcement agencies and victims' rights advocates. A spokesperson for Governor Evers says he would sign the bill if it reaches his desk.
Into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning, the FDA has ordered the manufacturers of surgical mesh products to stop selling their products in the U.S. That agency says the companies haven't demonstrated the safety and the effectiveness of those devices. Every year, thousands of women undergo surgery to repair a condition where weakened muscles and ligaments can cause organs to drop lower in the pelvis. The FDA says women who have this mesh should continue with routine checkups. Anyone with complications should notify their doctor. And a heads up for your favorite ice cream fix, there is a recall out for 2 Ben & Jerry's flavors because they might contain tree nuts like almonds, Brazil nuts, and hazelnuts that aren't included on the ingredients list. The FDA says the flavors impacted are Chunky Monkey flavors with Best By dates from August 28th through August 30th, and Coconut 7-layer bar flavors with Best By dates of September 15th. The company says an error with one of its nut suppliers has since been resolved.
Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning, France's Prime Minister is announcing an international architects competition to rebuild the spire of the Notre Dame Cathedral. This comes after French President Emmanuel Macron promised to rebuild the icon, quote, more beautifully than ever before and within 5 years. Macron made that statement in a televised address, suggesting he wants it rebuilt in time for Paris to host the 2024 Summer Olympics. However, experts are warning that work could take decades. The main problems include getting the materials and the painstaking work to preserve elements that survived the fire, but may have been badly damaged. A number of companies and business owners have pledged more than $900 million to rebuild the 850-year-old icon.
All right, 6:06 your time now. Imagine cutting your travel time to major cities from hours to just minutes if you're up for riding in a pod that shoots through a tube at pretty high speeds.
This is just amazing. That system doesn't exist yet, but cutting-edge work from a group of UW-Madison students may help make that a reality. Christina Laurie is live on campus this morning. Will you be able to check out some of that latest prototype tonight? Good morning, Christina.
Good morning. So later today here at the Memorial Union, that Badger Loop team will be unveiling their new Hyperloop pod before they enter it in a worldwide competition. Now, this is considered crunch time for that team of 50 to 60 undergrad students. They're getting ready for tonight, as well as the 4th annual SpaceX Hyperloop competition this summer. That's where the students' pod will go head-to-head with more than a dozen other university-led teams from around the world. The Badger Loop team will be judged on only one thing: maximum speed. This is their 4th pod. The team has sent a pod every year since the competition first started. And although they haven't won the top prize yet, they say their experience in modeling this pod after the last might just propel them there this year.
We've reused a lot of that design, and we've learned from those mistakes that we've made and innovated on those designs to make it a lot better and a lot more feasible for the actual competition. So that has a lot of exciting implications for this year's competition.
The Badger Loop team is one of only a few to be invited to the competition every year since it first started. They say this year's pod has a strong, lightweight carbon fiber outer shell with possible speeds of more than 100 miles an hour. Now, that pod will be judged this July at a SpaceX competition held in California. But you can get a first sneak peek of it tonight here at the Memorial Union. That's starting at 7 o'clock. You can also meet these really impressive students, Josh and Leah.
This is exciting, like the fact that it's right here in Madison, and you just never know where that technology is going to bring us next.
We were talking about how impressive these students are. They're really putting us to shame, Christina.
They certainly are. We were talking last half hour. I don't know what I was doing during college, but it was nothing this futuristic, and it could help so many people. I would love to go from Chicago to Minneapolis in just minutes.
Yeah,
we'll take that.
Making a big impact. All right, Christina, thank you.
Developing this morning, Boeing's 737 MAX planes are one step closer to flying again. A Federal Aviation Administration panel released a draft report saying Boeing has made changes to the model's stabilization system that are, quote, operationally suitable. The panel says Boeing can now start planning to train pilots on how that system works. The U.S. joined countries around the world in grounding all 737s after the Ethiopian Airlines crash back in March.
All right, 9 minutes past 6 o'clock right now. Recent data shows dozens of Wisconsin National Guard members reported being sexually assaulted within the past 6 years.
Up next, we're taking time to talk about how the Guard is working to prevent assault and support survivors. You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the patio. Today is an alert day for southern Wisconsin due to the potential for severe thunderstorms this afternoon. Take a look at the alert day graphic. We'll show you that isolated strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible today, mainly this afternoon and evening. Large hail is the main threat from the storms later on today, although cannot rule out an isolated tornado. Some may produce some pretty heavy rain as well. Let's take a look at that severe weather outlook issued by the Storm Prediction Center. They have shifted the yellow shaded area, which is the slight risk, into southern Wisconsin. That means they are expecting a few strong to severe thunderstorms. Madison, Janesville, and Platteville all included in that slight risk area. The marginal risk extends through the rest of our viewing area up into the central part of the state. Now this morning, not a whole lot happening on the radar map around here. I've been watching a little bit of scattered activity develop across southern Minnesota and parts of central and eastern Iowa. These showers and isolated thunderstorms will lift northward through the area this morning, clipping southern Wisconsin. But the best time frame for severe weather comes later this afternoon between 4 and 8. And again, I mentioned heavy rain is possible, kind of a wet couple of days coming up. Not quite as wet on Thursday, but when you add up the rain totals from today and tomorrow, could be looking at anywhere from a half an inch to an inch of rain for southern Wisconsin. Temperatures across the upper Midwest, there is quite a difference in temps this morning. 35 in Superior, 38 in Rhinelander. Contrast that with 61 right now in Des Moines. So there's a big increase in temperatures as you go to the south and west. Here in southern Wisconsin, we're actually starting off pretty mild, mid to upper 40s, even low 50s in southwestern Wisconsin. Now, as we look at our future track forecast model, what you're going to see on this map is a lot of clouds through the area, but a big difference in temperature even across southern Wisconsin. We're going to see temperatures climbing into the upper 50s to around 60 for our southern viewing area, staying a little bit cooler to the north. Some rain clipping the area yet this morning, but again, the main time frame between 4 and 8 when we expect to see more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. It diminishes a little bit overnight, but then scattered showers are still in the forecast on Thursday, especially through the afternoon hours. No severe weather, though, is expected tomorrow. Here's a look at your extended forecast. It will be significantly cooler tomorrow. Breezy northwest winds and highs only around 50, but a nice shape up for the upcoming weekend. Heard the terrace chairs are going out tomorrow. Perfect timing. The weekend forecast looks great with lots of sunshine and warming temperatures. Now it's time to get a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. Josh Tim has all the details. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, it's a quiet start on the Beltline so far this morning. Really nothing to slow you down heading east or westbound. Other roads here in Zane County are looking pretty good. Some of the usual brake lights are showing up on Verona Road and Stoughton Road approaching the Beltline ramps. Moving well downtown around campus, I would plan on things getting busier over the next hour or so. And coming into Madison, other routes are moving well with no major delays or issues. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Hattie. It is 6:15 right now. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and this morning we wanted to take some time to talk about how Wisconsin's National Guard is responding to reports of sexual violence.
Last week we were talking on the show that the Wisconsin National Guard recorded 52 reports of sexual assault between 2013 and 2017. Here this morning to talk about solutions are Robert Brania, the Guard's Sexual Assault Response Coordinator, and Amber Garfoot, a victim advocate. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Robert, let's start with you. You know, Senator Tammy Baldwin had called for an investigation into the Wisconsin Air Force, and now these reports of 52 sexual assaults reported over that time frame. What are you folks doing to address those?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us. We think it's really important that this issue is talked about and that we try very hard to make sure we're removing barriers instead of creating them. So having people understand the process that we demand be in place and the accountability that we demand of the organization is helpful. So we're aware of the investigation. Our prevention training focuses on bystander intervention. We also focus on talking about the issue of consent and what constitutes sexual assault and educating people best we can.
So more and more people are talking about this, obviously, in this day and age. You know, what are one of those things that you're seeing as far as people coming forward? Why are these people coming forward as far as the numbers go? Is it just more people are reporting it, or is more of this happening?
Thank you for asking that question, because it's very important to note, with regards to the military sexual assault reporting, a service member can come forward to report assault that occurred without regards to their military service. It could be something that happened in their civilian life. They can even report assaults that happened prior to entry into military service or sexual assault as a child. So the 52 reports that Wisconsin has taken in the last several years, only a small portion of those are related to military service.
Amber, let's talk a little bit about what it means to be a victim advocate. What does that all entail?
Sure. Victim advocate is basically a first responder to an individual who has been a victim of sexual assault. So we come in and assist them in any way possible that we can. Although we cannot provide legal or counseling services, we are able to point people in the right direction or get them healthcare services, help them find counseling services, or even just have a familiar face to talk to about their case that's a good confidential person to confide in.
So one of the things, obviously, we're talking about it more. Is that why you're thinking more people are comfortable having the conversation, asking for help, coming forward?
I think societally we are going into a different era where people are more comfortable coming forward to talk about sexual assault. I mean, we watch the news today, and it's not just the Wisconsin National Guard where you see headlines of sexual assault. It's in different facets all over our country. I really firmly believe that individuals are feeling more comfortable because of that, and because they see it on the news in multiple facets, want to come forward and get the assistance that they need.
All right, Amber and Robert, thank you so much for coming on and talking about this really important topic with us this morning.
Thank you.
6:18, your time now. The Bucks are hoping they can repeat a pretty easy win over the Pistons this weekend. We're going to preview Game 2 coming up.
And taking a live look outside. If you plan to take a trip to Milwaukee today, pack the umbrella. The forecast is looking similar to ours with showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. Hattie's first lower forecast is coming up next on News 3 Now this morning. Stay with us.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. We're taking a look at Platteville this morning. Our Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam showing you a lot of clouds in the Platteville area. Not a lot of sun in the forecast today, unfortunately. We have chances for showers and thunderstorms to develop. Here's a look at Weather Track, which is satellite and radar combined. Mostly cloudy skies this morning with just a little bit of rain starting to develop to our south and west. That activity will clip southern Wisconsin this morning. Best time frame for more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity is after 4 p.m. Temperatures this morning are starting in the 40s and 50s. Platteville's actually 50 degrees, as is Mineral Point. Janesville's dropped to 48. It is 47 here in Madison. So a nice mild start and a dry start to the day as you head to the bus stop, but chances for rain though through the afternoon and right into the evening. So grab that umbrella or the rain jacket before you head to the bus stop this morning.
All right, thank you so much, Addie. So the Greek Freak and the rest of the Bucks will try to take a commanding 2-0 lead over the Detroit Pistons in their first round playoff series later tonight in Milwaukee. The Bucks dominated the Pistons in Game 1, winning by 35 points. It's a pretty big deal because it's the Bucks' third biggest margin of victory ever in a playoff game. Giannis led the team, of course, with 24 points and 17 rebounds, despite only playing about half the game. Pistons star Blake Griffin missed Game 1 with a knee injury, and his status for tonight's game is still up in the air. Tip-off is set for 7 tonight at the Fiserv Forum.
This morning, former Badgers quarterback Russell Wilson is now the highest paid player in the NFL. The Seattle Seahawks reached a 4-year, $140 million extension with a $65 million signing bonus. He's now just ahead of Aaron Rodgers' new deal with the Packers, making $1.5 million more.
Good for him. And speaking of the Pack, former fullback John Kuhn is returning to the team for a bit of a different role. The Packers are bringing him on as a sports analyst for their digital broadcast and game presentation department. Yeah, kind of cool.
That's cool.
Kuhn played 9 seasons in Green Bay and was the key member of the teams that won Super Bowl 45 and 5 division titles. Now he's going to be contributing to Packers.com and social media platforms.
Well, this year's commencement speaker for the University of Wisconsin-Madison says he wasn't really planning on writing a speech.
I cannot get over this. Former Badger and NFL star J.J. Watt says he was planning to ad-lib his commencement speech, having no idea he would be expected to write it out beforehand.
Oh my.
This comes as UW-Madison is requesting a copy of what he plans to say.
He was like, they have a teleprompter for you. What do you want on it? I said, no, nothing. I don't need it. Just give me a black screen and tell me when to stop talking. You know, that was literally my plan. But I found out you have to write some stuff down. So I have about a month to figure it out.
Better get on that, buddy. He said he does have some messages he wants to get across, but he also said he knows the Badgers in the crowd just want to go drink some beer.
There you go.
So he'll probably keep it short. Spring commencement will take place May 11th at Camp Randall.
Just give me a black screen and I'll talk.
Oh my gosh, coming from someone who uses a prompter every day, could you imagine?
I mean, for us, it'd be dangerous.
We would just chat about
Whatever. Crocus. Thunder boomers.
And colors and thunder boomers. Yeah, we could go on for hours.
Everything probably people don't really care about.
Thank God we were not chosen to be commencement speakers.
Yeah, that would be good.
All right, 6:25 your time now. President Trump is going to be in Green Bay this month for a rally. We're looking ahead to that event next.
Plus, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes is talking about what we need to do to address the academic achievement gap. The day's top stories are coming right up on News 3 Now this morning. Investigators say the man who admitted to kidnapping Jamie Kloss from her home in Barron isn't cooperating.
And Chicago to Minneapolis in just minutes, thanks to a group of Badgers and their new high-speed Hyperloop that could soon become a reality.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and thanks for staying with us on this Wednesday, April 17th, halfway through the week. This week's kind of flying by.
It is flying by because we get to spend a little time with you, Josh. That's why.
Oh, bless your heart.
It doesn't hurt that it's pretty nice outside, too,
yesterday was
temperature-wise.
amazing. Today is pretty good so far.
Yeah, but we do have an alert day in store in case of some severe weather later today. Hattie's got the details out on the patio. Hattie?
Yeah, not a bad start today, though, as you were mentioning, mild temperatures and dry weather right now. But there is an alert day in the forecast today. Take a look at Weather Track, which is satellite and radar combined. Been watching a little bit of development on the radar map to our west this morning. Those showers and a few isolated thunderstorms will clip southern Wisconsin pretty quickly this morning. However, the best chance for severe weather comes later on after 4. The Storm Prediction Center has shifted the slight risk area further to the north, so this now includes much of southern Wisconsin. Madison, Janesville, and Platteville, all in that slight risk area. Main threats for severe weather today would be large hail, although an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. Temperatures early today are in the 40s and low 50s this morning, so another mild start to the day. Clouds in place through the day with highs climbing to around 60. Again, after 4 o'clock, that's when I expect to see more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity across southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at your traffic maps this morning with the radar map staying pretty quiet around here right now. Traffic is not showing any issues. A few brake lights on the Beltline right around Stoughton Road and Verona Road, but otherwise, even heading into downtown, looking pretty good right now. As you go northbound on Verona Road towards the Beltline, you're down just a little bit with the construction in that area, but nothing is going to slow you down too much just yet. I'd expect volume to increase over the next hour.
Josh, over here, super excited for those Thunder Boomers. Is that how you say it?
What are you going to learn? You just gotta,
my gosh.
Come on, Thunder Boomer.
Thunder Boomers.
It's the northern Wisconsin, Minnesota type thing.
It is.
Not Highland. All right, thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
It is 6:31 right now. Officials say the man who pleaded guilty to kidnapping 13-year-old Jamie Kloss is refusing to cooperate in his pre-sentence investigation. A probation and parole agent said in a letter sent to a Barron County judge that Jake Patterson says his lawyer told him not to cooperate. The agent also said in her letter she plans to complete the investigation with whatever information she's able to obtain. Patterson pleaded guilty to kidnapping Kloss and killing her parents in their Barron home back in October. Patterson is set to be sentenced next month, facing life in prison. Sun Prairie police are still searching for 3 masked men accused of shooting someone Monday night. It happened near the Prairie Athletic Club. The suspects were last seen leaving the scene around 9:15. Meanwhile, the 45-year-old victim is still in the hospital this morning, considered stable with a gunshot wound to the stomach. Police say they do believe this shooting was a targeted case.
Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning. Janesville police are investigating an armed robbery that left a man with a gunshot wound. It happened around 1 this morning at a home in the 400 block of North Terrace Street, right next to Falcon Park. That victim says he struggled with the robber, then the gun went off while it was in his hand. Police say they conducted a canine track but couldn't find the suspect. Anyone with information, anyone who might have seen something, is asked to call Janesville Crime Stoppers. All right, to national headlines now. Multiple school districts in the Denver area are closed this morning for what the FBI is calling a credible threat to Columbine High School. Officials say 18-year-old Sol Pais is infatuated with the perpetrators of that 1999 mass shooting that left 12 students and a teacher dead. She traveled from Miami all the way to Colorado, bought a shotgun there, and is still missing this morning. Saturday will mark the 20th anniversary of the mass shooting at Columbine. All right, 6:33 your time now. Race equity has always been a priority for the Madison community, but it's especially top of mind right now since that controversy at Whitehorse Middle School, where an 11-year-old African-American student says an administrator ripped out her braids.
The administrator involved in that incident isn't facing any charges, but the conversation has not stopped. Last night, a group made up of activists, educators, a lawyer, and a doctor gathered to address the issue. The goal of the event was to focus on disenfranchised communities, breaking down how policies are written in ways that may leave room for interpretation, and as a result, racism. Superintendent Jen Cheatham, the district attorney, and a student resource officer were invited but did not attend that panel.
More local news now. Wisconsin is routinely ranked as one of the worst states when it comes to racial equality. The state's first African-American lieutenant governor has made racial equity one of his top priorities while in office. Mandela Barnes said there is a number of factors that can affect a student of color's success in the classroom. That includes things like health care, access to food, and neighborhood crime and poverty. Barnes said those factors need to be addressed in order to achieve equity.
When we work to address those issues first, you will see education transform itself, because students are then prepared to learn. Teachers are then in an environment, educators are then in an environment, administrators have fewer concerns to address when students are able to be in a place and they're starting at square one, where square one means the same thing for each student.
This is a really important conversation. You can find our Amy Reed's full interview with Mandela Barnes. That's up in the top stories list on channel3000.com.
Right now, the president is planning a trip to Wisconsin later this month. President Trump is set to hold a rally April 27th in Green Bay. It'll be held at the Resch Center starting at 7 p.m. People can register for up to 2 tickets, and all those tickets are subject to a first-come, first-served basis. All right, just about 6:35 this morning, and I think we'd all like to cut our commute times down just a bit.
Who wouldn't? A group of UW-Madison engineers is working on a futuristic design that could put the wheels in motion, pun intended, to do just that. Christina Laurie is live on campus with how you can check out the Badger Loop team's latest innovation tonight. Good morning, Christina. I'm excited about this story.
Good morning. So let's keep the bad jokes going. You could say this group of undergrad Badger students are going places, and soon they could help you get where you're going too. Tonight, the group of 50 to 60 undergrads will unveil their pod design, which is made to travel in a Hyperloop. Think of that like a train rail surrounded by a vacuum tube, so there's no air resistance. These pods can reach speeds of up to 100 miles an hour, and an added bonus, they don't run into any traffic. This is the UW-based team's 4th pod. Each year they enter a worldwide SpaceX competition, going head-to-head against more than a dozen other college teams. Although they haven't won the top prize yet, they have received innovation awards in the past. But besides winning, Badger Loop team members say they're also focused on STEM education and what that can mean for students' futures.
It's exciting to be a part of something that could be potentially a new method of transportation. And then aside from that, because it is kind of, a couple years away, it's also a really, really good opportunity for us as students to get hands-on experience in fields like this.
This year's pod has a strong, lightweight carbon fiber outer shell with possible speeds, again, of more than 100 miles an hour. It will be put to the test against other teams at the SpaceX Hyperloop competition in California this July. But you can get a first look of it, look at that design tonight here at the Memorial Union. That starts at 7 o'clock. And although the Badger team agrees that we're still a long way from seeing this technology actually implemented, they hope that they're part of laying the groundwork for future technologies like this.
This is exciting. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Right.
And you guys have been following my color coordination all week. If Mark can pan down, Christina went all out this morning. You got to show off the pink pants.
Let's see them, Christina.
Okay. I didn't know what you were saying. How do I model these pants?
I love it.
Thank you, Old Navy.
Oh, Josh Spreiter, our resident.
We wear pink, right, Josh?
You gotta wear pink.
Josh Spreiter is our resident fashion director here. He's keeping us in line.
Hashtag you can't sit with us. All right,
Making
Christina.
fetch happen.
Yes. Oh, Christina, bringing it all this morning. Thank you so much. Well, today there's an opportunity for you to learn about Governor Evers' plan to expand Medicaid in Wisconsin.
And down in Rock County, Edgerton officials say homeowners are in charge of making repairs related to lead concerns in their water. More local news is ahead on News 3 Now this morning. Okay, so I am dying to get outside, go hiking, go kayaking once the weather gets a little bit better. And Mr. Tom Edwards is giving me a sneak preview of what my hike might look like.
Oh my gosh, this is of Palmer Dog Park in Janesville. I just love mornings because I think they bring the best.
The sunrise is gorgeous. You said earlier it's a little spooky with the mist.
But very picturesque.
But picturesque.
Picturesque.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much, Tom. What does your morning look like? Take a picture, post it on our Facebook page or on Twitter, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. Bring those outdoorsy ones out here. We love those. We will share our favorites right here on the program.
All right, 6:41 right now. Edgerton officials say it's the homeowner's responsibility to make necessary repairs after 6 households tested positive for lead in their water. The lead was found during a mandatory testing period last fall when the EPA tested 40 of the oldest homes in Edgerton. The city says those homeowners are responsible for either purchasing a filtration system or replacing the pipes. The city also tested at a distribution site and wells, but they found no traces of lead. Now officials are recommending anyone with a home built before the 1980s buy a water testing kit.
There is a town hall discussion happening today about expanding Medicaid here in Wisconsin. Governor Evers says that move would save the state $324 million over 2 years. It would also provide coverage to 82,000 more people who currently don't qualify for the program. Republicans have long opposed expanding Medicaid. Representative Chris Taylor, DHS Secretary Andrea Palm, and other elected officials will talk about those plans and answer your questions this evening. That's happening from 5:30 until 7 at the Goodman Community Center.
All right, 6:42. It's another warm day out, but you're going to want to grab the umbrella. Hattie says we'll have to dodge the showers and
thunder boomers.
Yes,
right? Did I get it?
Thunder boomers. You got it throughout the day.
In case you're wondering, that's a thunderstorm.
Oh my gosh, no. I feel like people, they know this. They got this. All right, her first look forecast is coming up.
Welcome back. Trending now for any parents with gamers in the house, Microsoft has announced the release of its first disc-free all-digital Xbox. You can pre-order the latest One S console right now for $250. Lots of people online are questioning why it's $50 less than the One S model already on the market. The official release date is May 7th. The move comes as Microsoft pushes its Xbox Game Pass, a subscription service that provides access to more than 100 games. I feel like subscription services are just the way to go these days.
Seriously,
they're everywhere.
They are everywhere. Also trending this morning. Oh,
jeez, Josh.
There are a couple more Super Mario games making their way to your teen smartphone. Nintendo announced it's releasing Mario Kart Tour and Dr. Mario mobile games this summer. The company says Dr. Mario fits the Candy Crush puzzle model. The move comes as Nintendo stock fell about 1/3 over the past year.
Oh my gosh.
I'm excited about this.
I know. So now I know what you're going to be doing during commercial breaks, right?
Heck yeah. There you go.
Not me. Not my jam. All right, over to Miss Hattie McLean now with a look at First Alert weather. Hey, Hattie.
Good morning, guys. Let's transition from games over to the potential for some severe weather this afternoon. Cloudy skies this morning, but it is an alert day for southern Wisconsin, especially this afternoon. Isolated strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible. Now, the main threat looks to be large hail from any severe thunderstorms. Heavy rain is certainly possible and can't rule out an isolated tornado as well. Here's the probability of precipitation. Again, relatively low this morning. Dry start to the day. We'll see some showers and a few thunderstorms as we head towards the lunch hour, and then another peak in activity later on this afternoon into this evening. So if you have outdoor plans, maybe a sports team practicing tonight, you're going to want to pay close attention to the weather. Download our Channel 3000 weather app, and it'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening later today. We are expecting the potential for heavy rain over the next couple of days. Half an inch to about an inch of rain across southern Wisconsin is expected over the next 48 hours. And again, here's a look at the radar map this morning. Seeing some activity, some showers and thunderstorms develop across southern Minnesota. Those will miss us to the north and west. We'll watch Iowa for any development there. Starting to see some showers pop up. They'll lift northward through the region yet this morning. Again, best time frame though for severe weather will be later on this afternoon. The Storm Prediction Center overnight lifted that slight risk area to include southern Wisconsin. So parts of our viewing area under a slight risk for severe storms. A greater risk for severe weather, though, much further to the south across parts of Oklahoma into Texas later on today. But again, with moisture surging northward, we could see a few strong to severe thunderstorms here as well. If today's a travel day for you, through the midsection of the country, it looks very stormy. And later on this afternoon, that's likely going to slow some flights down. So keep that in mind. Showers and thunderstorms in the forecast from Minneapolis all the way down to Dallas today. So really cutting the country in half with that line of showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures will be quite mild as well. St. Louis topping at 80 degrees. Lots of warm air there. 66 in Omaha today, 61 here in Madison. A live look outside. Again, cloudy skies to start the day. Pretty mild start as well. 47 here in Madison, 48 in Janesville. The Dells are at 46. Southwestern Wisconsin seeing temperatures in the low 50s right now. So here on our future track forecast model shows you that little bit of rain moving through this morning, clipping mainly areas from Madison to the north. Temperatures will climb into the low 60s today here in Madison, but it will be significantly cooler to the north. Look at the Dells, only in the upper 40s. Rain in the form of showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon and evening, then starting to wind down overnight tonight. Still a little bit of rain in the forecast though tomorrow, but no severe weather expected. So tomorrow is not an alert day for southern Wisconsin. The forecast shapes up pretty nice for the upcoming weekend. We're looking at 57 with sunshine on Friday. Saturday and Sunday look gorgeous. Just a slight chance for a shower on Sunday. Staying in the 60s though as we head into next week.
Oh.
Olive in Madison. Probably a good activity today. Just waiting for the weekend.
I'll love him.
Looks a little nicer.
Hunker on in.
Yeah.
Cutie. Thank you, Addie.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next on News 3 Now This Morning. Welcome back at 6:53. Time for the morning sprint. Hattie says it's a nice warm day, but we can expect some rain and thunderstorms, so that might change your plans outside.
And Christina Laurie is spotlighting the work being done by UW-Madison students that could lead to a new hyper-speed mode of transportation. But we start with the first change Madison is seeing under a new mayor. Right after her swearing in yesterday, Satya Rhodes-Conway and Dane County Executive Joe Parisi announced they've reached a deal on updating Cottage Grove and Buckeye roads. Previously, those roads had gone unfixed as the city and county couldn't agree over who was responsible for footing the bill. The city and county will now share the cost of both of those projects.
Here at the Memorial Union tonight, you'll have the chance to check out the latest in hyperspeed travel technology designed right here in Madison. Now, known as the Badger Loop team, a group of UW students are unveiling their 4th Hyperloop pod, which could travel through a vacuum tube at speeds of more than 100 miles an hour. The group designed and built it as part of the SpaceX Hyperloop in competition taking place this July, which will test pods from around the world based on speed. While this kind of travel is likely years away from becoming reality, the team believes this work could help lay the groundwork. You can check out the pod tonight, again here at the Memorial Union. That's starting at 7 o'clock.
And we start today with just cloudy skies across southern Wisconsin, although starting to see a little more rain activity develop across Iowa, maybe a little bit pushing into southwestern Wisconsin. Probably not hitting the ground just yet, but showers and thunderstorms are in our forecast today. A slight risk for severe weather from Madison and points to the south as we head towards the afternoon. Best time frame for that severe weather would be after 4 p.m. But we'll likely see a little bit of rain before that. As you go through your day, chances for precipitation pretty high right into this evening.
Thank you so much, Hattie. Multiple school districts in the Denver area are closed this morning for what the FBI is calling a credible threat to Columbine High School. Officials say 18-year-old Sol Pais is infatuated with the perpetrators of the 1999 mass shooting at Columbine that left 12 students and a teacher dead. She traveled from Miami to Colorado, bought a shotgun there, and is still missing this morning. Saturday will mark the 20th anniversary of that mass shooting.
The man who pleaded guilty to assaulting multiple women in the UW campus area will learn his sentence today. 31-year-old Coleman Chung was accused of assaulting 2 women and a teen back in 2017. In one case, prosecutors say Chung duct taped a woman's mouth and tried to force her into the trunk of his car. The sentencing hearing is scheduled for 2 this afternoon.
Officials say the man who pleaded guilty to kidnapping 13-year-old Jamie Kloss and killing her parents is refusing to cooperate in his pre-sentence investigation. A probation and parole agent said in a letter sent to a Barron County judge that Jake Patterson says his lawyer told him not to cooperate. Patterson is set to be sentenced next month. He's facing life in prison.
With that lack of cultural understanding, with that lack of knowing how to respond to certain instances, you see the worst case scenarios often play out.
News 3 Now's Amy Reed spoke with Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes about issues of racism in Wisconsin schools after a controversy at Whitehorse Middle School where an 11-year-old American student says she was assaulted by an administrator who ripped out her braids. Last night, a group of activists and educators talked about that issue and the academic achievement gap. The Lieutenant Governor says we need to address a number of factors like healthcare, food access, and poverty to achieve equity in our classrooms.
The Greek Freak and the rest of the Bucks will try to take a commanding 2-0 lead over the Detroit Pistons in their first-round playoff series in Milwaukee tonight. The Bucks dominated the Pistons in Game 1, winning by 35 points. That was the Bucks' 3rd biggest margin of victory ever in a playoff game.
6:57 right now. Over to Josh Tim with a final check of your traffic. Josh?
Yeah, the usual morning commuters beginning to show up now on the westbound side of the Beltline between Stoughton Road and West Broadway. That's going to add an extra minute or so. Inbound John Olin starting to tap the brakes at Rimrock and Olin Avenue heading toward the downtown area. And other main routes moving into Madison are cruising at the usual speeds with no major issues. With your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh.
And no umbrella needed this morning, but grab it before you head out the door this morning. Showers and thunderstorms will develop across the area today. Take a look at your forecast today. Temperatures starting in the upper 40s to around 50, climbing to highs in the low 60s. Best time frame to see the severe thunderstorms would be between 4 and 8 p.m. It is an alert day for the area.
All right, don't forget your umbrella. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, folks. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday.